Chemistry teacher for SS1 class. I'll start with introduction to chemistry. There are topics to be treated under this. The first topic is chemical industries, followed by introduction to chemistry, particulate nature of matter, symbol, formulae, and equations, chemical combinations, gas laws, standard separation techniques for mixtures, acid, bases, and salts, water, and the last one is carbon and its compounds. To elaborate more on these topics, I will start with chemical industries. To a man in the streets, what is a chemical industry? A chemical industry is one that produces industrial chemicals central to modern world economy. What do we understand by industrial chemicals? Industrial chemicals are those chemicals that are manufactured in the industries. Example of such chemicals are hydrochloric acid, tetrasulfuric acid, ethanols. And what are these chemicals used for? Ethanol is used to provide a soothing effect on openings such as wound. Then what do we understand by modern world economy? When we talk about modern world economy, we are talking about the economy of the modern time, as in the present time. Because whatever you are producing must meet the modern economy so that it will be relevant to the system. Then we have list of chemical industries. The list of chemical industry, the first one is soap industries. In the soap industries, where they manufacture soap, the primary ingredient there is the esters, which you combine with sodium hydroxide, which is another chemical that we are able to manufacture with the help of chemical industry. When these two combine, then you have your soap. Although there are some other processes that will also be carried out in order to ensure that you have a quality product of the soap. Then we have the textile industries. These are the industries that deals with the manufacture of clothing material, such as this shirt that I'm putting on. Then we have the cement industries. In the cement industries, we produce cement, concrete, and the major compound that is used in that cement industry is calcium triazocarbonate 4, the one we call the limestone. Then there's another industry called glass industries. In the glass industries, there we make use of sodium carbonates, silica gel, silicon 4 oxide. These are the chemicals, these are the compounds that are mixed in correct proportion to give us our desired product, which is glass. The next is importance of chemical industries. Number one, it helps to produce preservatives to maintain the quality of food. What are preservatives? Preservatives are those substances that are manufactured by chemistry to add quality to a particular product and to make it to stand the test of time. Example of these preservatives, you have salts. Salt can be added to fish to make it, to combat bacteria which can interfere with it to make it spoil. 2, to produce polymers used in packaging of materials. Example of such polymers are PVC, which is known as polyvinyl chloride. And what the polyvinyl chloride does is to harden the substance. Then you also have polythene bags, which we use to carry things from one place to another. That one is very common in our community. 3, to produce fertilizers and pesticides, which are used in the development of agricultural products. What are fertilizers? Fertilizers are those substances that are added to the soil to improve the rate of germination of seeds. Number 3, to produce fertilizers and pesticides which are used in the development of agricultural produce. What are fertilizers? Fertilizers are substances that are manufactured in the industries to improve the quality of the soil, that's to enhance germination. And a typical example of fertilizer is ammonium sulfate. It is added to the soil to increase the rate at which the seed that have been planted in the soil germinates. The other one is pesticides. What are pesticides? Pesticides are also compounds that are produced in the agriculture to combat pests. What are pests? Pests are those animals that destroy the lifespan of agricultural produce. Number 4, to manufacture drugs which are used to safeguard the living standard. An example of drugs that are manufactured is paracetamol, and paracetamol help to combat headache. Number 5, to produce toiletries. And what are toiletries? Toiletries are those substances that enhance the scent, the cleansing ability of environment. And examples, you have your soap, you have your scent, you have your perfume, then you have your deodorant, etc. for the usefulness of humans. Excursion to chemical industries. This is done by taking students on field trips to chemical industries. A typical example of the chemical industry that I've even experienced is the one in Niger State, the Mwazo chemical industry, where they produce chemicals such as ammonium salts, calcium carbonates. And if you look at the texture of that calcium carbonate, it is whitish. The next one is career prospects tied to chemistry. These are laboratory chemists, clinical pharmacists, chemical engineering, medicine. What are laboratory chemists? Our laboratory chemists are those specialists that you have in our laboratory that carry out series of experiments to determine the quality of a particular solution, to know the concentration of a particular solution, and also to give certainty to the quantity of things to be used so as not to use it in excess on a limited supply. Then clinical pharmacists. These ones are those specialists that deals with the manufacture of drugs. They work hand in hand with laboratory chemists because their job is to produce drugs, but those drugs, the chemicals, are